First question will be, we're back again, COP17 here in Durban, COP16 last year, we've got Rio 20 coming up. Where are we? Where do we stand as a planet and as the European Union?
I think in terms of climate negotiations, we have made some steps forward over the last 2 years, particularly in Cancun. What we need to do now is to put the Cancun agreements into operation, so that's the next step going to be. That's one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is that there's more and more reports coming out that we are really running out of time. So the urgency, the pressure is growing, and we also know that there's a big gap in terms of what we have put on the table in Cancun and what is required in order to stay well below the 2 degrees, which we have set as our objective in Cancun.
Do you really feel that sense of urgency now in your meetings within the European Union?
Within the European Union, I certainly feel that urgency because we have been coming out very loudly on this urgency over the last years. When I talk to some of my partners, let's say, I must admit sometimes I don't see that urgency really coming forward. But it's important here in Durban to set and chart out the path to the future to make sure that we find a way forward to increase our ambition and to find forward to create a globally legally binding agreement and to set a very firm timeline for that.
Reaching agreement, understanding what the problem is, reaching binding agreements is all very well, but implementing is always the difficulty. Will we be able to implement whatever you agree here and next year in Rio in time?
From the EU side, you know that the legislation that is required to implement our targets until the year 2020, we have done that already. So from that point of view, we, I think, have set an example. But we are also very much looking forward to what other countries are doing. And I think we were pleasantly surprised by China that was putting its Cancun Pledge already in April into their next 5-year plan. So that is a very important step. But there's many other countries that will have to follow. And I think you are right. In some countries, the pledge has been made, but the follow-up is rather shaky.
And where do the major obstacles lie? I mean, can we mention the United States?
I think the United States is in a very difficult situation. The Obama administration certainly is committed to move on climate change, but the situation in Congress and Senate does not allow any movement forward, and that is a huge problem because there's many other countries who can just hide behind that position.
Will the European Union be putting pressure on Washington, one way or the other, to implement proposals to join the climate change debate in a meaningful way?
I think that is something we need to do collectively. But I believe it's not only the United States, it's also those who hide behind the United States that will have to come out and come very clear out as committed and showing sufficient political will to take this discussion forward to real implementation.
That's great. Thank you very much. Thank you.